I'm going to sit here. Boys are going to be here.
Wait, you guys are sitting next to me?
No, you're sitting here and here.
No. Patrick is not sitting next to me.
Sit.
No!
Hey.
I'm not.
I heard you.
I just wasn't happy. Oh, I would have said something.
You don't need me no more, right?
You guys ready? Can I please have a motion to reconvene public meeting? All in favor? Motion carries. Lee, can you do the Pledge of Allegiance? And then a moment of silence for the men and women overseas?
Moment of silence.
Will the district clerk please call the roll?
Mr. Murphy? Mrs. Mallon?
Present.
Mrs. Kennedy? Dr. Adams?
Present.
Mrs. Napolitano-Furno?
Present.
Mrs. Hutchinson?
Present.
Mr. Kolahifar?
Present.
Mr. Hauser?
Present.
Mrs. Poppy?
Present.
And myself.
Jesse. We want to send our condolences for a valued employee in the district for the past 18 years that passed away, Mrs. Delisha Escobar, bus driver in our district. We thank her for her service, and our thoughts and prayers are with her family and friends at this time. Can I please have a motion to accept the minutes of the November 13th, 2022 Board of Education meeting?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Motion so carries. Recognitions, Dr. Adams, Superintendent, 100 Club, 8th graders.
Good evening, everybody. It's such a fun night to see all of our students here for our recognitions. It's the reason that we're here. So when you folks do good work and we get to celebrate that, that's the best nights of the year. So thank you all for being here. So at the last meeting, let me go back. About 7 years ago, the board president at the time said to me, Dr. Adams, we have great kids. We see them do great things on the stage. We see them do great things on the athletic fields. We see them do great things in the classroom, but we don't always talk about the great things they do in the classroom, and we don't always recognize it. So what could we do to show the community how hard our faculty, staff, and students work and how successful they are? So about 7 years ago, we started the Superintendent's 100 Club because 100 is hard to achieve. There's always some way that you can lose a point even though you know the curriculum inside and out. So I'm going to invite Mrs. Stephanie Burns, who is our Director of Science and Technology and Family Consumer Science, and Mrs. Louise Berger, who is our Director of Math and Computer Science. I'm sorry, I'm like, there's more to that title. Because tonight we get to recognize our 8th graders who received hundreds on the very first Regencies they ever attempted to take. And that's pretty impressive because it's a pretty scary test sitting for something that's that high stakes. And the fact that they were that successful is just unbelievably wonderful. So let's recognize Declan Duran, who got a 100 on the New York State Physical Setting Earth Science Regents exam. And let's also recognize Tessa, I need my glasses off for this. I need to see you guys with the glasses on, but they need to be off to read. Tessa Dolinger, who got 100 on the Common Core Algebra 1 Regents. Come on down. Congratulations. Let's also recognize Nadia Roddy, who got 100 on the Common Core Algebra 1 Regents exam. And Chase Riley, who also got 100 on the Common Core Algebra 1 Regents exam. Is Chase here? Oh, there you are. Come on over, let's take a picture. Board members, do you want to be part of the picture? Come on right behind us.
Kneel down. I feel like kneeling down might be the way to go. Congratulations. No, I like this. This is fun. It hides me. It's good. However you want. You can stand up. Go ahead.
I'm going to ask Mrs. Burns to stay up because you're part of our next one. Okay, this is the first time we've had. Is this the first time we've had you here in your official capacity? So thank you for being here, and we're really excited that you're going to move us into the future. It's just exciting to have you as part of the team.
Thank you. I have the pleasure of talking about some very special research that was done with our first year science research students last year. They provisionally discovered an asteroid, a brand new object that had not been previously noted. It has a provisional designation from NASA. They were honored recently by that organization, which I know firsthand just how difficult it can be to do research with NASA and be recognized for that. So we are thrilled to see what the outcome of this provisional designation may be. We have to wait to see a couple of orbits from now, whether or not it truly is a brand newly discovered object or not. So we would love for the following students to come forward. Zohair Adnan. Congratulations. Also, Alex Biondi. James Domazic. Lacey Stitch. Severino Roderick. And last but not least, of course, Amelia Gibbons. They will get to name it eventually.
Okay, would Mr. Robert Cassain come on down? Mr. Cassain is the District Director of Social Studies, Business, And that's it, okay. Only those two departments, okay. All right, tell us a little bit about who you're recognizing tonight.
All right, so a few years ago, Michelle Rapone became our school to work coordinator. And part of that program was for her to set up internship experiences for our students. The idea being a lot of these kids, they get such a robust education within the classroom. We have so many business classes, and some of our kids are leaving our high school with like 24, 27 business credits. It's incredible for college. But there's also a whole component of it of working within the field and getting hands-on experience within these industries that a lot of these students didn't have the experience to partake in. And what she's done with her position as the school to work coordinator or the work experience coordinator is procure internships for these students where they can make connections with industry professionals, with people in the field, and learn not just the theory but the practice, and learn who the managers are and the ins and outs of the jobs and how you can actually go about being successful within those programs. And one of the areas that we felt we had a real room for growth was in the summer. A lot of companies, industries that she would reach out to and say, I'd love to help you out, I'd love to participate. Do you have anybody available in July and in August? And we'd say, yeah, except we're not in session. So this summer, she went through the legwork of putting together a whole summer internship program and reached out to a couple local businesses that were fortunate enough and lucky enough to help us. But we were lucky enough to have them help us, I should say. And we just want to honor them tonight, both the businesses that kind of took a chance on us and were willing to let our students come in and work in the internships in the summer, and as well as those students, who are giving up hours and hours of their summer when their friends are being high school kids and they're learning how to be professionals and put themselves in the best position to succeed moving forward. So we want to acknowledge both those businesses and those students who participated tonight. So let me just call them up real fast. All right, so I'm going to start with the quintessential experience. Supervisor is Ed Kotak Jr. Ed's actually going to be helping us out in the spring as well. We have a personal financial literacy day coming up, to be determined of a date, but him and his company are going to help us out. So we're going to be seeing a lot of Ed moving forward. And his student that he supervised was Isabella Kaspiev. All right, our next company is Clear Vision Optical, supervised by Madeline Moeller. And we would like to recognize Ayan Shaikh. All right, next we have TechWorks Consulting, supervised by Chris Caluccio, and student is Tyler Trippi. Neither of them are here tonight, but I did want to acknowledge them. We have Panetta Physical Therapy, supervised by Ms. Therese Panetta Young. And our student intern is Kaylee Diaz. All right, and finally, we have 3 students who participated in the Leone Early Childhood Center, supervised by Ms. Sandy Leone. Sandy, are you here? And those students are Carrie Uceda Luna, Megan McDougall, and Amber Rogers Wakefield. So thank you again to all the businesses and the students who participated. We're really excited to see this program grow, so thank you all.
So we had an absolutely historic fall for our T-Bird teams. We had 2 teams that went further in competition than has ever happened before in the history of Connecticut School District. So I would like to invite our athletic director and really the director of everything fun, Mr. Pete Mallory, down to come and talk about the historic fall that our T-Bird athletes had.
Good evening. First of all, I'd like to thank the board for having us here and Central Administration for giving us a chance to recognize our coaches and our athletes. Dr. Adams is 100% on the money. We had an amazing fall, and I just want to take a second to backtrack a little bit. This didn't just happen. It wasn't just poof, we had a good fall. 4 years ago when I came here, I was very fortunate. There was already a really great foundation here in athletics, health, physical education. But I felt, one of the things I felt we had pockets of greatness, but we didn't have program greatness. So we brought in the varsity head coaches, and we shared a vision. And the vision is that we would be competitive on a varsity level and be good citizens and do work for charity across the board. And we would think of ourselves as a program, not one individual team. I didn't want to hear, well, it's really more of a football school than a soccer school. It's more of a football school than a volleyball school. Because I've been places and I understand athletics and programs and people, and if you get everybody to buy in, you can be consistently competitive, and we can teach the kids the things to learn, the characteristics that are going to help them in life across the board. But what I said, and the reason I brought the varsity head coaches in only, I said to them, the truth is, you have to look at yourself. Remember this, I said, you are the head of the program. You are not the head of your varsity team. What that means is an incredible amount of extra work and extra time that you probably wouldn't be financially compensated for, but the reward and what you're giving the kids will be endless. And the reason I bring this up, and I haven't brought this up in the numerous times I've been able to speak up here, the reason I'm bringing it up now is this fall was it. This was the culmination of all that work. This was a program. Every single team made the playoffs. Almost every team won the first game in the playoffs and made a deep run. During this, because it's not just about winning, we had so many fundraisers, so many kids and coaches doing great things for charitable organizations. So we had our citizenship. Academically, 213 scholar athletes. 9 out of 12 teams became scholar athlete teams recognized by New York State, meaning 75% of the kids on that team had a 90 average or better. So we were hitting it out of the park in all 3 facets, but not just one team across the board. So I thank those head coaches for making the connections with the middle schools, with the JVs, with the local community youth sport groups, and becoming a program. And we're starting to see it in the winter. It's not just a wrestling school in the winter. We have our basketball teams competing, all right, and doing the right thing. So I think it's important to understand if we keep this going, and you see we're getting more fans, and it can't just be the homecoming day. It's got to be throughout. And by the way, homecoming's gotten even bigger, I think, because we have so much pride in the program right now. So I thank, of course, all the athletes, the parents, the board, and the central administration for their support. But these head coaches, quite frankly, I challenged them, and they came through, and that's what we saw this fall. So before we start with the championship teams, we just like to recognize the all-state or state qualifier athletes. As you know, New York State is one of the most populated states in the country, and we have so many athletes. So to qualify on the state level in this state, okay, and be named all-state is an incredible accomplishment. We're going to start with Shelby White, our boys cross-country coach. Come on up, Shelby. I'll just ask the coaches to be brief. We do have a lot of accolades, and I probably spoke too much already. So, Coach White.
Thank you very much. My name is Shelby White. I am the boys varsity cross country coach and winter and spring varsity coach as well. I'm here to talk on behalf of Gregory Baldinucci, a junior at the high school with us. Unfortunately, he couldn't make it here today due to illness, but he wishes he could be here amongst a lot of his peers and, of course, parents and friends and family as well. Gregory this year was one of the 5 athletes chosen to go up to the state meet for cross country as an individual. What they do, if you're unfamiliar with it, for cross country, the best team in the county, consisting of 7 guys from a team, go up to states, and then 5 outstanding athletes outside of that from other schools get to go as well. Gregory was one of those. Connecticut in general, sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt you. Connecticut in general has only had a handful of those, 4 athletes that I can think of off the top of my head in general that have ever achieved that accolade to go up. Gregory has been such a force to our team since joining us last year. He went from last year being a first-year runner. He was a tennis player. He's probably tried every sport under the sun. First-year runner with us last year for cross-country, winter, and spring. And from being a first-year athlete to now a junior with us, he has become a first-year guy to a leader immediately and has made such a wave throughout the entire county that other teams look at him every time we go on the track or onto a course for cross-country and are just astounded at what he's capable of doing. I just want to go over a few stats. I promise I'll keep it brief. This year in particular for cross-country, his second cross-country season ever, and he's still only a junior, has set 3 Connecticut course records in the 2.5-mile race at Sunken Meadow, the 2.8-mile race at Sunken Meadow, and the 5K at Belmont Lake, running a 16:20 in the 5K with hills. So if anybody's ever run a 5K before, you know that is a remarkable feat. He was first team all-county. He was first team all-Long Island. And this year, what they do up at the state meet, when they run their Class A race, which is the biggest of the races, they pit each of the sections against each other, 1 through 12. 12 athletes from each section compete against each other. It's one large field of over 100 athletes, over 200 athletes in this case, actually were able to compete. And he was top 50 in the state there. And Section 11 were actually the winners when you combine them against every other section. So he was an intersectional state champion for Connecticut this year. So an absolute beast when it comes to running. It's very hard to transition from the cross-country season from outdoors to a small track running around indoors on a 200-meter track inside of a stuffy college. Some of these guys on the varsity soccer and volleyball teams can tell you because they're on our program as well. But he has transitioned very quickly into the next one. He went from an intersectional state champ. He's number 9 in the 2-mile right now after only racing 1 time. He's number 21 in the mile right now after racing 1 time. And he's part of a relay that's number 12 in the state with a few guys that are in this room right now for 4x8 meter relay. So he's already achieving great things in the 4 weeks that we've had indoors. But that's Gregory Baldinucci, and you'll be seeing more of him, I promise.
Now I'd like to bring up our swimming and diving coach, Coach Chicalone, to come up. And Lara, is Lara here? Lara Booth along, come on up. And Coach Schiebler could not be here tonight because he's at the swimming and diving fall dinner, correct?
Thank you, everyone. Thank you to the board for having us here tonight. Thank you, Mr. Mallory, for all your support for our athletics. This young lady, Lara, we couldn't be more proud. To say we are proud would be a tremendous understatement. Throughout the season, she has absolutely demonstrated true spirit of Connecticut athletics. Not only is she a great diver, but she's even a better teammate. And if anyone knows me, we're about family. And I've always given my own children the advice, it's always be the better teammate than the person on the court or on the field, etc. As I said, to say she's a hard worker is, again, a tremendous understatement. She has shown progress throughout the years on the team, and especially this year had an amazing year with us as a diver. Just to go over a few stats, this year Lara took second overall at the league championship. She took third overall at the county championship. Out of 40 divers at the New York State Championship, she placed fifth overall and placed as an all-state diver, which was pretty amazing. As Ms. Laurie said, to place in the top 5 in New York State is absolutely amazing. Lara is also a all Long Island diver, which means between Suffolk and Nassau, you have to be top 3. Lara is the number 2 diver on Long Island. I have more, don't worry. This year, Lara broke the Suffolk County record from 2016. So she now has the Suffolk County record for diving, 6-dive meet. So very proud of her for that. And to top it off, last night we had our all-county, all-league dinner, and Lara is Suffolk County's Diver of the Year. So, amazing job. As I said, we couldn't be more proud of this young lady, and we absolutely look forward to having her back next year and her continued success. So congratulations, Lara.
Now I'd like to call up Coach Sam Libretti, our gymnastic coach, to talk about Alex Melchiona. Alex, come on up. And Avery is not here tonight, her sister, because she couldn't miss practice. That's Avery, right?
Good evening, everyone. So my name is Samantha Libretti. This year was my first year coaching the varsity gymnastics team. I've had the pleasure of coaching 13 young ladies, but tonight I want to highlight Alex Melchiona and Avery, who is not here. So they are 2 of our athletes, our gymnasts, who have qualified for the state team, and there are 15 girls who were chosen from Suffolk County to be on this team. So Alex is in 12th grade and Avery is in 9th grade. So Avery, even though she's not here tonight, I'm just going to say a few words to recognize her. She's been on the varsity gymnastics team since 7th grade. She is a beautiful gymnast to watch. She brings so much joy to our team, her personality, her sense of humor, her positive attitude, and she's done such a wonderful job throughout the season. She is still so young and she has so much growth in her, and I'm so excited to coach her in the upcoming seasons and to watch her compete at states. Alex is a gymnast who has been on varsity since the 7th grade. Not only does she exceed athletically, but academically as well. Alex is in the top 5% of her class and was the varsity gymnastics scholar athlete from 7th to 12th grade. Alex works very hard to achieve her goals. I've had the honor to get to know Alex and coach her for the last year that she's attending Connecticut, and she is a wonderful role model in and out of the sport. Since being on the team since 7th grade, Alex has had numerous successes. She's been an all-county athlete since 7th grade, was the individual county champion in 11th grade as an all-around athlete, made the state team since her 8th grade year. She holds Connecticut's school record on vault with a 9.4 and on bars with a 9.45. She was named Newsday's top 10 gymnast to watch, and so many more accomplishments. To only be her coach for 1 year is bittersweet, but I know she will do amazing things in her future. Alex and Avery both hold themselves in a very professional manner, and the spot that they've earned on the state team is truly well-deserved, and I am so proud of them both. So congratulations.
Now I'd like to bring up our girls varsity assistant soccer coach, and Kaylin Mallon, come on up. Our head coach, Ryan Cavanaugh, couldn't be here tonight because his daughter has a concert.
Good evening. I'm Jen Monahan, the girls' varsity assistant soccer coach, and I'm here to talk about Kaylin tonight. We could stay here all night. Good thing Cav's not here because he would be talking all night. I want to start out saying that ever since we met Kaylin as a fifth grader, it was clear to us that she was going to be something special. She's been coming to our camp since then, and she has been dynamite. I think in 7th grade, we had to move her to the varsity group during camp because she was just that good and that competitive. While her skills on the field speak for herself, it really is like the look in her eyes that separates her from many of her peers. She is driven beyond any others that we have seen come through Connecticut. Kaylin's the difference maker that every coach dreams about. We could put her anywhere on the field, and she's going to make a difference. She is that impact player. So again, she's the difference maker that every coach dreams of having. She's determined and at times possessed to achieve her goals and dreams, which is a great attribute to have. Ladies and gentlemen, this young athlete is the first team All-State, and she's only a 10th grader. She's the youngest person. She was the youngest person. She was the only 10th grader selected to the first team All-State team, which is an unbelievable accomplishment. And this is a career goal for many top-tier athletes, but Kaylin achieved it in 10th grade, and she's only going up from here. We could sit here all night and talk about the amazing goals she scored, the amazing goals she set up. Even sometimes, not sometimes, a lot of games, Coach Cav and I found ourselves turning to each other, and you know, for everybody who knows the sport of soccer, it's a team game, but we would turn to each other and silently say, just get Kaylin the ball, get Kaylin the ball. And we'd get her the ball, and she would turn the game around for us. There were several games where we were definitely the stronger team, and it was 0-0 at halftime. And again, we would say, and I think one halftime speech, Kev did say, get Kaylin the ball. We got her the ball, we won 4-0. So she just really is a force to be reckoned with out on that field. She makes a difference. But we also want to talk about the coachability that she has, as far as we could put Kaylin anywhere on the field. We all know she loves to play up top where she can get her goals and get her assists, but she would, you know, unselfishly, she would go back and guard their best player on the other team if we needed her to. And we had to do that several games where she would score or set up an assist, and we would go up and we'd say, okay, Kaylin, go back on so-and-so. And she would shut that player down for the rest of the game and be, again, a huge reason why we won. We would also like to focus on the person that she is, the student she is, and the friend that she is. Kaylin sits with the top tier of her students in her class academically at Connecticut High School. I'm lucky enough to coach her and have her in my Algebra 2 honors class this year. She had 101 average in the first quarter. So she's an amazing student who worked so hard. She adds to discussions in class. She's very insightful. She's just all around and amazing. She really encompasses the definition of a student athlete. Kaylin also volunteers her time with the community. She's always at all of our camps. She's at our Kicks for Cancer clinics over the summer. She spends hours in the morning for our week of camp training herself, but then she comes back at night to run the little kids camp. She's actually going to come over and help 2 of my daughters with some spelling and reading. for community service hours. She's just an all-around amazing person. She's also, the person on the bus consoling teammates if things didn't go her way. She really is everything that Connecticut Soccer stands for. And we're so, so blessed to know that we have her for 2 more years, thank goodness. And 2 more years as a player, and like I said, she's just getting started, and she's already at that top level, and her legacy is going to be left here at Connecticut for eternity. So we'd like to say congrats to Kaylin Mallon for an amazing job and making first team All-State.
Okay, so there's all league, there's all division, there's all county, and there's our all-state individual athletes. Congratulations to all of them. And we have a treat in a little while. We'll hear about some young gentlemen who made the next 2 tiers, which is all-region and all-American. But right now, we'd like to bring up Jess Perry, our varsity boys volleyball coach, to talk a little bit about the history they made. Come on up, boys. We'll bring the team up here. Best dressed team on Long Island.
I want to say thank you for tonight's recognition and congratulations to all these amazing athletes and students that we have here tonight. This season made Connecticut varsity boys volleyball history. The boys worked hard with a mission and a goal in mind. Thank you to my seniors. You'll forever be remembered as the seniors that led us to our first ever Suffolk County Championship. Thank you to all the athletes, coaching staff, parents, the community members, including all our amazing fans and student fans, administration, former players, and family members. All of you helped make the season one to remember. I would like to give a special recognition to Eric Dignan. This positive, hardworking athlete had some impressive accolades added to his resume this season. Congrats to Eric on making New York State All-Star Team, Newsday Suffolk County Boys Volleyball Player of the Year, Section 11 All-Tournament MVP, All-County Academic, All-County Elite, and Connecticut Boys Volleyball MVP. Congrats. Thank you.
All right, I'm going to scoot this down.
Okay, last but not least, our head coach and our assistant coach for varsity boys soccer, John Zambrisky, Joe Nelson, and the Suffolk County and Long Island Championship soccer team.
A couple of you guys can hop up on a stage if you want. A couple of you guys hop up there. Go ahead. Doesn't matter. Just go. All right. First, I'd like to thank our Board of Education, our administration staff for inviting us tonight, and I would love to congratulate all the athletes mentioned and all the athletes who participated this fall. It's hard to balance academics in school. It often comes with the discipline to make the tough choices and put school as a priority as well. We like to say here with this team, family, school, sports, in that order. This team here, you know, we spent many years together with a bunch of these guys, some of them just 1 year, but a lot for multiple years. We became a very tight family. Their play on the field was completely unselfish. The rhythm they developed, the ball movement, the desire to work with each other, and the desire to outcompete our opponents, the desperation at moments was needed to get through the crucial times. And these boys demonstrated that, whether it was in practice to help each other improve or in the crucial moments during the game. They obviously, as we mentioned, made history this fall multiple times. The first time in 20 years, the boys soccer team won the league championship, winning League Two with a record of 9-1-1 in that league, let up 2 goals in 11 games. I'll say that again. To top off that, 9 of those victories were shutouts. We ranked second in the playoffs. We advanced into the playoffs for the first time, making it to the Suffolk County Championship. And I say the first time ever in school history. We made it to the county championship, but the boys weren't done there. They decided to win that game in dramatic fashion on PKs. I thank you to our administration and Board of Ed that were there and sharing those videos. It was an exceptional, proud moment and exhilarating to be part of. And then we went on to play just a few days later on half legs, and some of them battling some really tough colds, to play Plainview Old Bethpage in the Long Island Championship, where we came out with a 2-0 victory on some, again, I'll just say, desperation, efforts, selfishness, selfless play, and boys, congratulations on that. We don't get that success without having some special talent. This team is loaded with lots of special talent, and if we could give out awards to everybody that deserved it, it would be a great thing to do. But as you know, some of the awards are limited in the numbers given out. This team was gifted with 2 players who were recognized by opposing coaches with 2 real high prestigious awards. As Mr. Valori mentioned, we have all those players who made All-State earlier. Earlier this month, we had 2 players recognized as All-State players and All-Region players. All-Region players in soccer encompass the states of New York, New Jersey, and Pennsylvania. Aiden Friel and Andrew Johnson, congratulations on All-State and All-Region honors. To go even higher, I don't think I'd ever say that I'd be standing up here presenting this award ever, but I can also say that it's never been more deserved. He's a special young man, on and off the field, conducts himself with the ultimate professionalism. His desire to never get outworked, his work ethic doesn't matter. You just outcompete all his opponents. We held our opponents to 2.1 shots per game, and it was his efforts, his desire, his skill to get that done. It was just absolutely amazing. Aiden Friel was nominated a little over a week ago to be an All-American. Congratulations, Aiden. It's the highest. To be selected All-American, there's 1 out of 81 boys in the United States, and we got one of them right here with us. Congratulations, Aiden. It's been well deserved. Thank you to those 2 boys, but I thank every one of you up here and a few that couldn't be with us this evening for a great season. Your accomplishments can never be erased. Your efforts will never be unappreciated. We hope you celebrate it as much as I have. Thank you for a great season. Thank you, everybody else. Congratulations, fellas.
Thank you. Good job, guys. I'm sorry we took so much time, but we really appreciate it. And like I said, it really was a special fall. That's why we're here. And just one last note. This was the best of the best, but I'd like you to know there were over 450 other high school athletes that competed this fall and over 350 middle school athletes. So we're very proud that our participation numbers are through the roof as well. Thank you all.
Congratulations, Mr. Mallory, and all of the athletes who got awards tonight.
Mr. Kassane, want to come on back down?
All right, real quick, we just had one more person we wanted to honor, Miss Madeline Moeller from Clear Vision Optical. She just came in as we were honoring everybody, so we just want to make sure we acknowledge her and Ayan Shaikh one more time for his accomplishments over the summer.
Moving on to policy. Exhibits. The superintendent presents the following exhibits for the Board of Education's edification. You're doing that or me?
They're just on here because they are regulations or exhibits. That is the the administrator's purview. We do these things to update, when you update your policies, we update our exhibits and regulations, so it's just here for you to see that's going to be part of. It doesn't need to be voted on or anything.
Are we going to read them off or not?
No, no.
So then moving on to discussion items. Student government report? Do we have any student government? Okay, moving on to board topics. Committee reports. Does anybody have any committee reports? Oh, put on the,
I went to the transportation meeting. I have to say, I never really understood, or I never really thought about it. It's not that I didn't understand what is involved in transporting children. I have learned so much this year being on that committee. And I can't commend these people more. They have our kids. They have our kids. There's so many of the bus drivers, they know how to entertain, to keep them in their seats. They're concerned about parking, to expedite transportation since we're so understaffed, that they're coming up with ideas for how they can be parking at the high school. And when they should leave, how to make it easier for the kids to get on the bus and move the buses faster, because they have a lot to do and there's so few of them that do it. I just think they're an amazing group, and I give them a lot of respect, a lot more than they really deserve it, because they have those little children in their buses, in their care, first thing in the morning and last thing of the day, in any type of weather. So, that's all.
okay, moving on to scope enrichment. This was something that I put on for Mrs. Poppy to go over the wonderful grant-funded extra classes we're going to have that help, like tutoring, correct? I'm going to put it over to you. So you
So tomorrow, the community's families will be notified that this is a sneak preview, that we'll be hosting within the district an opportunity for all of our students in grades K through 12 to participate in a Saturday enrichment program of their choosing, of course, but it's an opportunity that will be available to every student. It is a grant-funded opportunity through some of the federal COVID relief funding that we received as a district, earmarked for after-school types of programming for students. These will run for 6 Saturdays in January and into February from 9 to 12 at Connecticut High School, and feature great appropriate enrichment type of courses or programs for students to participate in. So we go from primary-aged coding and robotics to Math Olympics to anime and cartooning and comic books, to journalism and creative writing, to SAT preparation, to an opportunity for students to sharpen their study skills globally, and as well as kind of sharpen their test-taking skills and hone in on some of the strategies that will be helpful to them across different subject areas. So tomorrow morning, a flyer will be released to families. The registration for this free opportunity for children will open up tomorrow night at 6 p.m. Everything is outlined in the letter that will be sent to the community tomorrow, and the details of the programming is also included in that communication.
Thank you very much. I know that we were talking about a lot of students that were having some issues with falling behind in math, and this was especially with the Algebra 1 and Algebra 2, and this was a wonderful way for us to get grant money to help not just those students, but all students across. So thank you very much for running with that. Great job. And the scholarship.
So that was me. I wanted to discuss the scholarship program that's at the high school. Christina Poppy took time out of her day to show us, and by us I mean Brian, Lee, and Jackie, you were there. So we had gone to see how it works and the functionality behind it. We saw the children scan into the cafeteria, and the effects of it. It was done in 3.4 minutes, Ms. Poppy, was that?
Yes.
Yeah, it was a very fast, effective. My concern with the scholarship was the need for it. Like, what is its purpose? They're scanning into the building and then what? They still have to take attendance in class. They still have to be accounted for. They could go into the cafeteria, but then they could leave and they're still scanned into the cafeteria. They're still scanned into the building. They go home. So Ms. Pulliam had told us that there are more capabilities to this program, that they will try to wean into it. They wanted to go slowly into it. And there will be a scan out program that they will be doing so that they can know where all the children are and account for all the children at all times. We were told that it has cut down on cutting classes, like kids don't cut as much because they can't get into the cafeteria. So, and there is now an FAQ. I don't know if it's on the district website or the high school website, where there's a lot, if parents have questions about it, there are some FAQ questions that are answered on there.
I think I received that through an email from, I think, the high school principal. I think that's where.
Yeah, but I think they posted it online. I just don't recall if it was on the district website or the high school website. I know that Mr. Moran sent out a remind FAQ. I just don't remember if it was posted. Ms. Christina, do you know if it was posted on the district or on the high school website?
So my only understanding is that it went out as a letter through the high school. I don't know whether it's posted, but we can certainly have it posted, the FAQ document. You know, what's nice about that document is it gives some quick responses for some commonly asked questions, but it also provides contact information should parents have additional questions or concerns that they would like to express. One contact is Mr. Moran for the building operations, and the second contact is Mrs. Pulliam for the technical aspects of scholarship.
I still want to look into PatMed and some of the other districts that have had it for quite a while. And I'd like to get their feedback as to how well it worked out for them and, you know, what did they do? How did they roll it out? Just out of curiosity to see, because I know that we've had some complaints. And I just think it would be good to see how other districts, how it went. We don't have a history of it right now. But if we look into other districts and how what did they have? What went wrong? What went right? What are the pros? What are the cons?
And
I know Pat
another thing that
said that they actually, it's something that they have no problem with. But
That's
I'd
right.
like to.
And we actually visited Patchogue Medford High School as part of our research into this process. They were very forthcoming in terms of their process. It has been active in the district there for, I believe it's under a decade, but more than 5 years. So we know that change can be slow and at times challenging. But when asked, the building principal there said, I don't believe that we had many challenges, but it's easy to forget them once it becomes part of the culture of the building, right? So I'm happy to reach out to them to maybe arrange a discussion, and you know, we can involve board members in that conversation should you like.
Perfect, thank you. Anything else, anybody? Okay, so moving on to correspondence. Can I have a motion to approve and send the attached letter to the governor's office in Albany?
I have some concerns about the letter.
Go ahead.
I do like part of the letter. The only part of the letter, wait, was it rewritten? Hold on a second. Okay, so the only part of the letter that concerns me is referencing the influenza virus as a reason to not get the COVID vaccine. I don't normally like to blame something to defend something else. Like for me, I would like the letter more to be why COVID vaccines should be choice for the parents and not used because I don't take the flu vaccine as a reason.
Only thing that I didn't take it as that. I mean, when I read it, I didn't think it was a bad letter. I appreciate it.
No, I don't think it's a bad letter. That would be the only thing I would change in the letter
Right, no,
is-
no, I understand what you're saying. I'm just saying to you, when I read it, in my opinion, the way that it sounded to me was more of, we don't ask anybody to, there's no mandate for children to go to school with a flu vaccine.
Right, so you're opening
why
the
would
door
you
to the
make
governor,
one
say,
for
fine,
a
I'll just
COVID?
mandate the flu vaccine.
I understand, Lee, but I think that we should send a strongly.
Right, I would rather state reasons why I would not want, or why choice should be for the COVID vaccine and not, just not blame something else for it. Just facts on why the COVID vaccine. Why is it emergency use authorization only? And why are they mandating an emergency use authorization vaccine? What about the side effects? What about the data?
Everyone understands what this. There we go. Dear Governor Hochul, on behalf of the Connecticut Central School District community, home to approximately 5,500 students, we write to you to voice our concern about recent comments made in reference to statewide COVID-19 vaccine mandate for school-age children. COVID-19 vaccinations are tailored to the virus in a similar way that the flu shot is created and disseminated each year. We have seen many variants of the COVID-19 virus over the last 2.5 years. The current COVID-19 booster, which is bivalent booster, protects against the original variant, which is no longer circulating around the world. And the Omicron variant, BA.4 and BA.5, as of November 30th, 2022, the CDC states the predominant Omicron lineages that are causing illness in the U.S. are Omicron BQ.1.1 and BQ.1, neither of which is included in the bivalent booster that is still being administered widely in New York State. Therefore, in order to ensure that children are protected from the latest permutation, it would likely necessitate multiple immunizations over the course of a child's schooling, perhaps annually, or even more frequently as the virus mutates. A parent has the right to decide if they want to vaccinate their children against influenza, a quickly mutating virus. A parent should continue to have the right to decide if they want to vaccinate their children against COVID-19, also a rapidly mutating virus. The Connecticut Board of Education respectfully requests that you continue to support our parents' right to choose how to protect their child, and families against this illness. Thank you for your consideration in this matter. I don't have a problem with the letter as is, but that's up to you guys. How you want to go about it. I would like to get this signed and get it out as soon as possible.
No, I would like to sign and get it out. Also, I would just like a stronger letter on why I would like COVID-19 to be a choice and not, I want it to be choice because the flu virus is a choice.
Why don't we do this? Why don't we send this one for December and we'll send another one in January? I have no problem sending one every month. At that point, it's not gonna hurt us to send multiple letters because I'm telling you, most people are gonna be sending them a lot. Other districts are looking already into what went on previously with getting attorneys and everything else. So I'm just saying that I would like to get this out as soon as possible, and this is our only meeting until the middle of January 10th. So, that's up to you guys. If we vote and it votes down, then we could write one and have it out in January. But if not, I don't see a problem with this going out the way it is. And again, we can put a follow-up that's longer. I also think sometimes when you have longer letters, you lose, a lot of people tend to not really read through it if it's longer. But we could add something that you're talking about.
I'm not saying to make it long and lengthy because long and lengthy doesn't get your point across any better. I'm just saying make it stronger and more point-driven as to why choice should be a thing. That's just my opinion. I'm just one person.
It's up to you guys how you want to do this. We're supposed to vote on this, correct? Right, well, that's why, I mean, I would like to get it out as soon as possible. That's just me. I mean, I'm only one person. So this. All right, so then, can I have a motion to approve and send the attached letter to the governor's office in Albany? I'll second it. But all in favor is gonna be, all in favor.
I will agree if we can write a stronger letter in January. Okay.
Absolutely. I have no
Fine.
problem with that.
Okay.
So then let's send this one out, dated what it is, December 13th.
Can I get votes for you and me, please?
I'm a yes.
Yes?
Okay, and then, as per Marisol, I agree with her, let's do another one for January. I have no problem sending these out every month, we have to. I think parental choice is that important. Is you sure? This public comment, I will open the floor for first public comment portion. This public comment period is only for consent agenda items. An additional public comment period will be held later in the meeting. Please raise your hand if you have a question or comment on a consent agenda item. If no one raises their hand, I will continue on with the meeting. If there are agenda questions, I will call individuals forward one at a time. Please wait for my acknowledgement before stepping up to the podium. Any person wishing to address the board shall address. Does anybody have anything for the consent agenda? Okay, then I'm going to circumvent that. All right, recommended action, financial matters. Can I please have a motion to approve items 2 through 7?
Second.
Are there any questions? All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Motion carries. Recommended action, personnel matters. Instructional and non-instructional. Can I please have a motion to approve all personnel schedules as presented?
Second.
Are there any questions? Okay, all in favor?
Aye.
Motion so carries. Aye, motion so carries. Can I please have a motion to approve items 2 through 18 on the consent agenda?
Second.
Are there any questions? All in favor?
Aye.
Aye, motion so carries. Now we're at the public comment. I will now open the floor for the open public comment portion of the agenda. I will call individuals forward one at a time. Please wait for my acknowledgement before stepping up to the podium. You should have received a numbered card from security on your way in. If you have not, please see a security guard in the back of the room. Any person wishing to address the board shall address the board president only. Comments should be kept as brief as possible and relate to school matters only. Each person will be limited to 3 minutes for one or more topics. Individual employees, parents, or children should not be identified by name, title, position, grade, or building. If members of the audience speak out of turn, the board may consider a recess until order is restored. In accordance with policy 1230, public comment will not exceed 30 minutes. If there are additional persons wishing to speak, the board may consider a motion to extend this time. So for number 1.
Hi, everybody. I really want you to see what I see as a grandma supporting LGBTQ kids. Last spring, there was the book banning targeting LGBTQ books. This fall, the Progress Pride flag came down. We had a kid unsuspended for defacing Pride stickers, and that sent a message that that kind of behavior would be protected. Then a multitude of parents came to these board meetings and showed you their pain and how their kids felt unsafe. And yet, following that, no names, a person of authority comes to our Connecticut High School PTSA meeting and says there are no reports of kids unsafe. So what I heard was that the reports just weren't being filed. And these optics, they just make me so sad that this is not the right way to be. And now the word on the street is that the superintendent you're searching for, you would like to be a person who will not follow New York State policies. So this grandma hears that you want to diminish LGBTQ rights even further. So I celebrate with you the joy, really do. And when I see you guys smiling and clapping for the kids, for their athletic programs, so the Superintendent's 100 Club, for the music kids, I want to say this. I implore you, you have the power, you have the ability, you can do it, to create programs and policies that make our LGBTQ kids feel safe. I'm counting on you, and so are those kids. Thank you.
Number 2? Is there a number 2? Number 3?
This 3-minute thing is killing me. All right, so I want to bring up a good program that I'd like to do for the middle school, but first I have to address this scholarship. Ms. Poppy, yes, I will be contacting you again and take you up on meeting you, which I did respond back. We'll set up a meeting time because I have an immense amount of questions as I've sent to you, and I appreciate your response on that. Marisol, I appreciate that you guys went and you saw how long it takes. So approximately, I'm going to go with 3 minutes instead of 3.4. So 3 minutes a day times 5 days a week is 15 minutes a week it takes to scan in for lunch. So it's an hour a month it takes to scan in for lunch, 10 months of the school year. So you're wasting 10 hours of a school year just scanning in for lunch. That's absurd. Okay. Second off, I want to know how much this program cost. No one has discussed the numbers on how much this cost. How much did it cost? Because it's never come up anywhere. And the other thing, which is just what we brought up last time, how you said like, oh, well, there's different things that they're going to slowly ease into. They're going to slowly ease into getting all of your children's information, their IEPs, their schedules, their personal stuff. It's all coming. Look up the program, look up the company. All of your children's information is going to be on the Scholar chip. They're going to know where they are, all in the building, and it's very amusing that we're comparing ourselves to Pat Med and how they've used it. How have they used it? Are they using it for disciplinary reports? Because that's all the stuff that ends up on that Scholar chip. Do the research. I feel like this was brought in very secretive and weird, and I don't really care for it, and I got to tell you, there's very few things that make me angry. I am furious about this program and the way that it was brought in. It was not discussed with the community. It was not discussed with the parents. I, as a parent, am absolutely not okay with this program. That's what I have to say about it. I can't wait to meet and discuss it. On to the good stuff. Middle school, I've asked about this before. We need some sort of after-school program, especially for the 6th graders. They are still considered elementary education, which we know. They are definitely ready for middle school. However, a lot of them don't have anywhere to go after school if they're not in a club, if they're not in a sport, and they're too young for sports and not allowed to do anything. They can't really go to Scope. We have a lot of working families. We need some sort of like, I don't want to say like a YMCA, but some sort of club like that. We don't do enough to support those kids. A lot of them go home to empty homes. Parents are struggling to find a babysitter because a lot of kids at that age, even though they technically can stay home alone, aren't ready to stay home alone. And they're afraid, or the parents are nervous, or the kids are nervous. We need to create something. We need to create some sort of after-school program, much like the Saturday program we do, that you are bringing up now, which is fantastic, but we need something that's every day after school for these kids to go, a hangout, a something. I don't know where we could house it in the building. That had been an issue before when I had brought this up many times in the past. But we need something to support the children. You know, we're talking about all this mental health. We can't leave these kids home alone with nothing left to do, or they're either on a video game or they're running the neighborhood because they're afraid to be home alone or they're unsupervised. It's not a safe situation. They're little kids. We need to do something for them.
Thank you. Number 4. Number 5.
A few different things that I wanted to talk about. The Mental Health Advisory Council, I wanted to just offer a report that DASA Week is scheduled for Monday, 2/13 through Friday, 2/17. PS I Love You Day is scheduled for the Friday before February 10th, and the theme that was presented during the meeting was Love All Your Chapters, promoting all students to be encouraged to write their own chapters of their lives and to love every part of it. There was also talk of doing some sort of like a repeat of the Community Wellness Day that we actually hosted a number of years ago. This is possibly for the fall of 2023 or winter 2024. And the other thing, too, about the Mental Health Resources tab on the district website, which is going to continuously be updated as new information becomes available. I also wanted to speak as a board member and on behalf of the Bohemia Civic Association. I would like to let everyone know that now through 12/31, through the end of the month, Assemblyman Jarrett Gandolfo and Suffolk County Legislator Anthony Piccarello are hosting a holiday donation drive to benefit the survivors of human trafficking at ECLI. We actually had Laura Mullen of ECLI Vibes, who is a survivor, speak here at our school board meeting on October 25th. She also spoke at our last Bohemia Civics meeting on November 21st. And I think I speak for many when I say her story and presentation definitely opened our eyes as to the dangers our children could potentially face. The drop-off locations for this drive are at the Bohemia Firehouse on Pearl Street and Gandolfo's office on Montauk Highway in Bayport. They're looking for toiletry items as well as baby items, so please consider donating to this incredible cause. I also wanted to talk about the Freshman Awareness and Winter Spectacular, and shout out to Mrs. Goodwin and Mrs. Temp for their dedication and hard work to Freshman Awareness. It really was an awesome event, and it was amazing to see such smiles on every child's face. I love to see them just as a group of great kids having a wonderful time with each other. The Winter Spectacular this past weekend was another fantastic event for our community. Great job to all the different groups from the PTSA to the marching band for putting it together, and the pizza truck at the end was definitely a nice bonus. These events were really wonderful, and they displayed such incredible teamwork between all the students. And honestly, that unity is how I remember Connecticut when I was a student here myself. And as a parent, working with the PTSA on both events was really a great experience, a lot of fun. Last thing I wanted to just bring up real quick was the 3D printers, and I see we have 3D printers now in all of our libraries. From my own personal experience, they actually are an amazing tool. There are definitely sites like Thingiverse and Tinkercad that actually help you to either create or you can just download files, but you could actually create a file right from a blank slate, from something that looks like a grid. And I really think that we should start considering possibly having a club, a 3D printing club, students who can learn all of these different applications. And you know what, they can collaborate with other clubs. If another club needs something 3D printed, it would be a great way for these students to all work together, different abilities, because these 3D printers are really, really awesome. So thank you for getting those in those libraries. It's a great idea. So thank you very much.
Thank you, and thank you for reminding me. I actually just told the super before you spoke that I wanted to send a shout out to all of those students and administration, teachers, staff, custodians, security, everybody who helped with the Winter Wonderland. It was beautiful. I went through it. It was such a nice thing for the kids, such a nice thing for the community. Thank you for all you guys did. Also, we were over at, myself and Marisol and Mylin were over at the tree lighting at RMS. Spectacular event. We even had the principal, shout out to him, Mr. Liccato, singing with the teachers. It was so nice to see a principal and the teachers. Every time I see them sing, I'm like, look at these guys.
On the drums.
That was Mr. Malafonte, the director of music. It is amazing to see them playing with the kids. The Tri Music was there. The students played. It was a beautiful first time. Hopefully they continue it as an annual. The PTA and Student Council did an amazing job. So shout out to all of them. Thank you for doing that for the kids in the community. Just wanted to throw that in there. I should have said it at board discussions, and I apologize. What number are we up to? 5. So thank you for reminding me. Number 5. Oh, that was you. I'm sorry. I apologize. Number 6. That's it? Did you have a number? Oh, number 7. We should have stopped at number 6.
I've been holding off on this, but something precipitated me to want to bring it up tonight. I looked up the word respect, and it's also called esteem, is a positive feeling of or action shown towards someone or something considered important or held in a high esteem or regard. That's from Wikipedia. And tonight, we saw so much respect. We saw so many great kids doing so many great things, and coaches, and this was really Connecticut tonight. This was what Connecticut's all about. I will tell you that people who talk about disrespect probably never served in the military during the Vietnam War, because if you did, you came home to eggs, tomatoes, names called at you. I was fortunate. I came into California 9 o'clock at night. I met a young lieutenant. I saluted him. He got my respect because he was a commissioned officer. I was a non-commissioned officer, and I was just coming back from 2 overseas tours, and he saluted me back, and that's a real sign of respect. I didn't know him, he didn't know me. We were respecting the rank, both of us. It took about 30 years for me to finally get someone to say to me, "Thank you for your service." I came home through JFK midweek, mid-morning, met my mom, dad, my wife, future wife, and no one said a word to me coming home. And I guess I was lucky because they didn't call me all the names that this second lieutenant had told me I would be called. About 30 years later, I was thanked for my service at Fort Lauderdale Airport by very large, very big TSA agent.
Into school-related matters.
Okay, so we are talking about respect. I remember a couple of years back where 40 teachers received emails, and people came up here and discussed what it meant to them to have these 40 teachers. And this Board of Education found a compromise to save those 40 teachers so that they wouldn't be excessed. And it was a win for everybody. Another great Connecticut moment. And I think we shouldn't forget the things that we've done to try and help the people in this district. And I think right now there's a lot of people hurting, and we really need to take a really good look at what we're doing in terms of contracts. So that's what I have to say. Thank you.
Thank you. Number 8. Number 9. Security, that's it? Anybody know? Thanks, Adam. Okay, moving on. Oh, to the adjournment. So we wish you all a very happy holiday season, a happy Hanukkah, a Merry Christmas, a happy Kwanzaa, whatever your holiday is that you celebrate. We wish you all the very best with your loved ones, family, and friends. Hope to see you in the new year. Happy New Year to all of you, too. Our adjournment, can I please have a motion to adjourn the December 13th Board of Education meeting?
Motion.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Have a good one, everybody.